Hello, welcome back. My name's Claire. This is Peachy Keen Pans. Today I'm going to be updating my THOSE Eyeshadows project. It's my first update because I started the project a bit late in the year. To summarize, didn't hit pan in any of my focus shades. So I had 5 focus shades. They were quite colourful, if you guys remember from last time, like blues, greens, more greens, a bit of yellow. But I did hit 2 bonus pans. So I think I'll go through all the shadows that were in the project first and then show you what the bonus pans were, which was kind of exciting because I was feeling a bit disheartened initially, thinking, oh, there's like not much visible progress at all in the shades that I rolled in. But anyway, we've got the bonuses. So basically, the shadows that I had in the project came from the Psyche's Box palette, which is like my special focus palette for the year that I'm going to try to hit pan in every shade in this tiny palette this year as part of my THOSE eyeshadows. So I had 1 shade from here, 2 shadows from my newest palette, which is my P. Louise Unlock Your Creativity palette, this massive one. And then I had 1 single shadow from Glaminatrix and 1 shadow slash highlighter from this Tammy Tanuka palette, which I popped out and put in a magnetic palette. So going in order, I think in order that I rolled them in last time, but definitely in order in how I've written them into my diary. First of all, I'm just going to kind of cover half this palette to avoid sneak peeking, but basically the shade that I rolled in was this one. This is Subterranean. It is a kind of mid to bright dark blue. I kind of consider it dark, but I think most people wouldn't call it that dark. But I used it only once. I used it once. I will, if I had a photo of it, I'll put that on the screen, show the look. But basically it's a really challenging shade for me because it's quite a warm toned blue. And I think the blues that I'm more drawn to using are more kind of leaning into periwinkle direction, more like purple leaning, less green leaning. Not that this is like an aqua, it really is a blue, but yeah, it's a tricky one. And also, I think I mentioned last time, I have increased the number of days that I'm working in an office environment, so I'm trying to figure that out. So I think that's partly why this blue didn't get a lot of use yet. So I'm going to keep that in. I mean, part of me doesn't want to, but I am going to keep it in because the goal is to hit pan in every shade in that palette, and I already have a lot of progress in there, so I do definitely want to get to that. So we're keeping that one. The next 2 shades were from this P. Louise palette. They were both from the green-blue half of the palette. So the 2 shadows were Free Yourself and No Doubts. So this is Free Yourself, and this one is No Doubts. And I used Free Yourself once and No Doubts twice. And as you can probably see, there's not a lot of visible progress. Like Free Yourself, you can kind of tell maybe I put the brush in once, and No Doubts is, yeah, also just like you can see the littlest bit at the top of that question mark. But yeah, basically they were challenging to use. The best look that I did with No Doubts, I'll put that up here. It really perfectly matches the color of one of my dresses. It's a very bright green. It's not something I wear that often, but I did like an inner corner and outer corner kind of wing with that shadow. I did the inner corner, I believe I did the inner corner layered over a white base and then the outer corner without that. And it did show quite a big difference. So, I mean, it just goes to show after kind of years of not using a white base and now having one, I totally see the benefit. Like I fully get it. It makes a big difference for colorful shadows. And then Free Yourself, it's just like, if you look down this column, I think I would be most comfortable with the top, and then it just gets more difficult as you go down. So already Free Yourself being this more mid-toned mint, it's not like I can use it as like a subtle pop of color highlighter inner corner kind of thing. It's not pale enough for that. It has more depth, more richness. So yeah, it's been a little challenging. And what I thought I would do, because I know like out of these 2 shades, Obviously I haven't used either of them very much. I'm kind of tempted to roll one of them out, and maybe, and what I'd thought was, okay, it does feel like a bit of a, you know, like I should have pushed a little harder with these shadows and kept them in, but I do kind of want to roll one of them out so that I can have the chance to roll something new in, and also something that's a bit more achievable to wear at work. But what I thought is I'll randomize which one rolls out. So I'll do like a random number generator, literally 1 to 2, see which one it picks, and then roll in another shade as well. So I'll do that at the end. But moving along, the next shadow I put these 2 shades in this little magnetic palette. So on the left we've got Glaminatrix Hopping, which is from the Easter collection, which I think just re-released recently. It is really beautiful. They all have a very pastel base with a strong champagne gold flip. So that's on the left here, and on the right is a Tammy Tanuka shadow from the Witch's Bath or Enchantress's Bath palette, which is sort of both a highlighter and an eyeshadow palette in my view. I put that in here as well. It's the shade number 67. So those are the 2 shades there. As you can probably see, they both got a little bit of use, but neither of them is showing it that much because they're both incredibly pigmented. Like, neither of them do you need to build up. I just kind of like dab it with my pinky finger, a dab, and then just like kind of tap it on the inner corner, and it's like, bam, it's right there. So actually today I'm wearing that Tammy Tanuka shade in the inner corner. And I don't know how much it's picking up, but like you barely have to use any, and they're so punchy. Anyway, so that's where I'm at with those 2 shadows, and I used each of them 12 times. So way more than the others. But despite the fact that I've used these 2 12 times, I'm inclined to keep them in because I feel I can continue to make more progress, and they're a bit easier to use. So I'm not going to roll them out having used them 10 times. I'm going to keep them in. And as I said, there were 2 bonus pens. So first of all, I've put one of them in here. This is Terra Moon's Daydreamer. And there you go. It's a pastel blue. As I said, it's a bit more of a cool tone blue, which is what I generally go for. I used it recently all over the lid and then also in the inner corner twice. I think once by itself and once with other colors as well. But it's so beautiful. It's so saturated and rich for a pastel. I really do think this will show up well on other skin tones as well. I mean, yeah, I just think it's got a real intensity to it. It's very powdery and there's kick up, but on the other hand, you know, if you're using it in a way where you really want that impact, it's much easier to build up than the P. Louise shadows, which are harder pressed. So yeah, it might look like a relatively small pan, but it was, you know, for the most part, naturally formed in the sense that I wasn't like specifically digging for this one. I just really love this color and naturally ended up hitting pan in it. Especially because I had this kind of blue-green color scheme, I ended up, I think, thinking more about blues and greens and reaching for this one. So that was my first bonus pan. And then my other bonus pan is in here, and it's Phantom, which is this grey. So this one I had in my Pan Those Eyeshadows last year and had not yet hit pan in it. So it had quite a considerable dip, and then I used it I think 3 times, and for Daydreamer I also used it 3 or 4 times in the last month and ended up hitting pan on it. And in part I think it was not that hard to hit pan on this one because it's not very pigmented. It takes quite a lot of shadow to get it showing up, and I think each time that I used it, again, I think I got photos at least once or twice of how I used it. I used it all over the lid, in the crease, all over the lid, a bit on the lower lash line, and then topped with an iridescent. And I really like using iridescent in that way over a grey. To me, it gives kind of cloudy sky with a bit of kind of like silver lining on the clouds. With the iridescence, that's kind of what I get from it. So I did that once with a pink iridescent, which was Terra Moon's Red Giant, and once with a red-yellow iridescent, which was Glaminatrix IS1, which is quite similar, I believe, to Terra Moon's Phoenix. which is like an iconic iridescent in the indie world. So yeah, those are my 2 bonus pans. I'm happy to at least have had those, even though the actual shadows in the project haven't gotten very far. So what I'm going to do, as I said, is just decide using a random number generator over here. I'll go minimum 1, maximum 2, and see which of these 2 shadows I'm going to keep in. Free Yourself or No Doubts from P. Louise. Okay, alright, we rolled number 1, so that means I'm going to keep Free Yourself and roll out No Doubts. Admittedly, I was hoping for the opposite result, but that's okay. That's the idea with, you know, allowing a random number generator to decide. So, okay, what I'm going to do is roll out No Doubts and then roll in a new shadow. And now this is kind of exciting because then here, I'll show you this left-hand side. This is my Pan Those Eyeshadows side, and then this is my full face of project panning side, which I haven't done a video about. I'm not sure yet. I actually haven't even put it on Instagram yet, but I should soon. And then page over, we have finally got around to making my full spread of eyeshadow palettes. And then page over again, all my single eyeshadows. So I have numbered all of them, and my total is 177, which is quite a nice number, I think. So I'm going to go maximum 177, minimum 1, and roll in a new shade. Okay, 161. It's one of my singles. Let's take a look. Okay, you know what? All right, that's fine by me. I'll show you. So this is actually from the ColourPop Strawberry Shake palette, which I depotted. So I don't have the actual plastic palette anymore, but I have all these, most of the singles still. It's the shade Woke, which is a sort of, not quite a strawberry pink, a strawberry milk pink. It's a bit brighter than that, but still in the realm of soft to mid kind of tone. I'll grab that and show you which palette is it in. I think it's in here. Yeah. Okay, so this is my yellow, pink, green, no, yellow, pink, orange palette. And this one, yep, I'll pick it out. This one in the corner is the shade Woke. You can see, I hope, that it has a little bit of a dip. It is quite hard pressed, so this may well take me a while, but this is one I'd be willing to keep in for quite a long time, because this is the type of shadow that I do consider neutral aligned on my skin tone. So although today I'm wearing like a more classic neutral look, this is really like bronzy, beige, brown. That's kind of what most people think of as neutral. I do also think of pinks and peaches as pretty neutral. And I can build like a, you know, an easy look with those kind of tones. So that's a good one. I think that's nice to bring in. It's pop it into my magnetic palette, and I'll probably take out Daydreamer and move something else in here. So this includes some of my focus shades. There you go. All right, I will quickly swatch these out on my hand and then show you. It will look pretty similar to last time because only one shadow has changed. But anyway, I'll be right back. Okay, so this is all the shades that I have now in my project, and I'm kind of relieved to have that pink in there. That's how they look. I think they are a really nice selection. Look, the blue and the teal / aqua are still kind of intimidating. The two lighter shadows are very easy to use as like an inner corner highlight / you know, brow bone or even a highlighter. And then that pink will be, I think, a really easy crease shade, maybe even mixed in with like a taupe or something to tone it down a little if I'm going to wear it for a more formal, you know, environment. But I'm pretty happy with that, I think, all things considered. Yeah, let me know what you think, and I will do my best to get some more progress, especially on those trickier shades. And yeah, I'll see you guys in another month. Bye!